Hi everybody, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new adventure. We're going to go for a little bit of a walk today and check out some nice scenery, nice views. It's not really a kind of a place that we're going to go to, it's kind of an area. We're going to go and check out New Moscow City. Now, they actually in Russia or in Moscow, they have kind of the old Moscow, and then they have the new Moscow, and it's hugely different, very vastly different one to the other. So now it's not that far away. We're going to have a little bit of walk from where we are here. Now I just thought I'd start here because it's a little bit symbolic for me, because I'm just thinking about it now. The first time I came to Moscow was pretty much 9 years ago, and at that time I was very hesitant to catch trains, buses, metros, what have you, and the traffic just got heavy at the same time. And I would catch the train from Prelivka, where we were living. I would come to basically Kievskaya railway station, and I'd walk around the area where we are here and end up at this McDonald's right behind me. And that was 9 years ago. So since then, obviously, I know the place sort of backwards. I can get around myself everywhere, no worries. But I was even hesitant to go too far from the railway station in case I got lost to find it to get home again. So this is the McDonald's here. Now this McDonald's is kind of a little bit famous too. Back quite a few years ago when Moscow and I guess the West, if you want to call it that, there was a lot of sanctions imposed against Russia, and sort of a little bit strangely, in like a little bit of a retaliation, I guess, I don't know how you'd call it, a lot of the health and hygiene officers from the Russian government came here and closed down a lot of McDonald's, being that it's sort of an American company and the like. And this was one of them that was closed down for health infractions, but really it was very petty, and it's back open again. It's interesting today, there's a bit of a line outside, but it's not a huge place. It's got 2 levels, but they kind of just limit the amount of people inside. I don't know why, but it's not sort of normal. And right behind me is Europisky Shopping Center, which is this huge kind of place, multi-level. I think it's 4 or 5 levels inside. It's not a huge sort of, you know, spread out kind of building, but it's just multi-level. And then behind me is where we're going to head. This is New Moscow City off in the distance here, and that's what we're going to go and check out. Can you see that just off in the distance? Let me just spin the camera around. Oh. Now, I'm not sure how loud this is going to be. Always, whenever I'm filming, it's quiet, and as soon as I start talking, you know, some guy decides to drive by like he's at the Formula 1 in Sochi. That was like a little Nissan with a huge exhaust pipe. But this is just ahead of us here. It's kind of a very neat view from here, because it's silhouetted right now because of the afternoon sun. But we can see these sort of very, very modern buildings kind of towered by these original Moscow apartment blocks right here. These very traditional looking brick apartment buildings. And then the road right here, this very wide road. I did try to remember the name of this street, but I've just forgotten it right while I'm doing this filming. And being that I'm like one take kind of king here, we don't sort of film it and edit it over and things like that. So I'm going to put the name of it just in the kind of chat, on the screen. Yeah, you can see also over here, they've got a kind of a power station just off in the distance of the shopping center. You can see how big this place is now. A lot of very much Western brands in here. There's not too many Russian brands. Being that it's called Europisky or Europe Shopping Mall, I guess people want to go and have a look at the latest fashion and all the brands that are sort of were unknown, you know, 30, 40, 50 years ago here. It's a great spot if you live here. You're so close to everything. And then off in the distance is where we're going to kind of have a good look at. We're going to get down to the kind of the river edge here and let's have a look at these buildings. So it's a little bit of a walking tour. Oh, nearly caught an accident. Not quite. Yeah, it's kind of a walking tour at the same time as a kind of a nice visual of the new Moscow city. These it's afternoon sun, but everything's so shaded. There's another guy doing this turnaround. He's just sort of done a big U-turn on the road here. Now, I'll just point out something kind of interesting. Now, this building right here is 9 levels, 9 stories, and it does have an elevator inside. But let's just watch the step here. Now, at one point, after they had a changeover of how big they were building buildings, they had the 5-level apartment blocks. Then they went to 9 levels, which this one is. There's a lot of these around the place in Moscow Center and Moscow region, but now I wonder if you know why it only reached 9, not 10, not 12, not 20. Now, the reason is, at the time or the period that these were built, that was the longest ladder that the fire station or the fire brigade had on their fire trucks. It would only reach 8 or 9 levels from the street. So just thought it's sort of interesting that that's why they maxed out the size of the buildings at this 9-level height. Yeah. As we go along here, now the lights have changed again, the traffic ramps up. Whenever you're in Moscow, it's pretty much always some kind of traffic because of the fact that it's kind of ring roads and main artery roads in and out of the center of the city. It's kind of a little bit gridlocked because of the fact that there's traffic lights between the major roads and there's long kind of times between the changing of the lights. It's a great sort of place to live. I wouldn't want to sort of think about what sort of price the rent is here though. Although they kind of look like older apartments, obviously inside a lot of people modernize them, but you're basically paying for the location, which is like everywhere, I guess. I thought I'd sort of start out by just showing you a little bit of the old and the new. So here's kind of one of the older Moscow apartment blocks, and then as we spin around here we see new Moscow city. Now I don't think even the camera angle does it justice from here, but it's a pretty neat view from here. Now I live in Perth, Australia, and we have Kings Park, if you guys know that or not, but you have this great view of the city and the skyline, and from here it's very similar, and you get to see the river here. This is the Moscow River right here down below. And what's kind of neat, you can see all of the river boats kind of parked up. And these are the much older versions of the new modern ones. You can get very inexpensive Moscow River excursions on these, and they've kind of got like cafes and restaurants on them. But see, the one on the other side though, can't quite see it. Mosfloat.ru, I guess that's their website, but that's the, they call them flotillas here. these boats. I guess there's kind of a lot of them, but you can get those very inexpensively around. They're not as fancy, but they do the trick. There's a few other people here getting some photos. Again, we're kind of in the afternoon time here, so the lighting is kind of not amazing, but it's just sort of interesting how a city can look so modern, and then if you turn around you see the original sort of aspect of Russia and Moscow. And I mean, those apartments, they've got a crazy view of the city though. Imagine sort of living there over the years and then seeing every building kind of getting built. Yeah, it's a pretty mad kind of view. Someone getting a pretty neat photo from here as well. It's a shame though, you kind of look around and sort of, you know, they built this sort of original sort of embankment, and there's sort of, you know, some graffiti, and the tiles have come off, but still pretty cool. The new Moscow city. It feels like one of those like, what's those car racing games, you know, like it should be like a car racing game, and this is one of the modes of it. Somebody's coming to get some wedding photos here, which is pretty neat. That's kind of cool. The guy looks freezing. I guess the photos are going to be pretty beautiful. Yeah, he's just waiting for the right sort of angle to get the photo. I think this is sort of the thing, everybody comes down here. There's another guy. It's actually probably taken away the view. This is kind of a cool backdrop with the car. I think they're, oh, maybe they're not going for that photo. Let's see, I don't know which angle. Oh, from behind. That's a pretty cool photo from there. These guys are Chinese, I think. They're not Russians. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Have a look at that. Just gotta step back a few steps. That's all. What do you guys think? Pretty neat, huh? There's another guy here with his t-shirt on. It is actually kind of chilly. Last night it got down to -2 in daytime temperature. I think 8, 9, 10 degrees today. I wish you guys could see that a little bit closer. He's just making nice Instagram picture. Maybe Instagram or TikTok, I don't know. And let's just have a look back at this view here. We want to go and check out this bridge right here. It's actually kind of neat. It's a walkway across the other side, and then there's a shopping center called Delavoit Center. You can just see on the kind of lower levels of these buildings. And then it's actually kind of a shopping center on this walkway. There's another building getting sort of finished off right behind. There's actually one right here as well. I've just come to the other side here of the bridge. It's sort of such a shame because it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. Like really, truly, just blows you away looking at these buildings and just the different architecture. And then you don't really have a great sort of spot to sort of stand to take photos. It's sort of very nice though, this area. You can kind of see there behind that kind of lower level of buildings, and then wham, they kind of hit you with this kind of very small kind of I reckon it's no more than sort of maybe 5 square kilometers of kind of building area where they've kind of put them all together. It's just a neat, that circular kind of one just gets me every time, because it's kind of, I wonder inside how much space, and everyone's got a view I guess from the windows, but now I've found a little bit of a better spot here. It's kind of opened up a little bit. There's a really nice path further down, We can have a walk here along the embankment and just relax. Being in the big city, you can get all the trees and just sort of breathe it in, and you still have that amazing view behind us. Alright, so we've crossed over the bridge and now we're actually in a huge shopping mall, which basically I sort of pointed out on the other side of the river, but this place is just silly. And actually, if we look straight up, we can actually see we're kind of in the kind of lower levels of the towers here of New Moscow City. But it's this is kind of the main atrium area, I guess you'd call it. But it just goes on and on and on. Really, this is kind of, it points out that it's 6 levels. But basically the 5th level is like a food court area. And then I'm on level 3 here. And then it goes sort of at like a below ground level where you can walk between the metro stations. Just even entering through the metro station, it was just silly how big that area is, how they've just overbuilt everything. Sort of just, you know, the enormity of the whole area. So I just thought I'd show you the belly of the beast, I guess you could call it, and how shopping is alive in Russia. Most of these are all kind of upmarket, sort of branded stores. There's not really any of the sort of very basic kind of Moscow shops that you'd be used to in the kind of, especially in Aprelivka where we live, but this is really a traditional shopping mall, shopping center on a grand scale. Actually, that one downstairs is actually Starbucks. Can you see the logo right there for Starbucks? There's a few like smoking shops, the electronic cigarettes. There's one on either side here. There's actually 4 of them. There's a couple that I walked past as I came upstairs here. So yeah, I'm trying to get out to the street area somehow to see the kind of buildings again, to slowly close out the video. So we'll sort of see if I can find the exit, shall I? Or shall we? So I made it outside, and I really don't think even the camera gives us too much perspective of the size of the buildings just here in the New Moscow City. It's just, okay, they're tall buildings, yes, but they're so clustered together, which is kind of the craziest thing. You know, they're literally, it's probably, I don't know, I was thinking about 5-kilometer radius that all the buildings are kind of in together. Just ahead of us there, the Novotel Hotel, and then the shopping mall where I was in the previous shot, that was the Afia Mall. Or Delavoit Center. They kind of have 2 different names. And just in case you're wondering about how luxurious the area is, this is the car dealership of Mr. Putin himself. Not his dealership, but this is the car, the Senat, which is the presidential car or vehicle. This is the sedan model here. But he has a like a limousine version that's basically the presidential vehicle of Mr. Putin himself. There's only one model on show. You kind of have a lady that greets you, and then that's about it. But they just have one there. So the base model is $180,000. And then they go up to about $350,000 depending on the model. Basically, the top of the range one is an armored car at the same time, so it's, let's say, bulletproof and what have you. So I don't think from standing here we do get the kind of perspective of how cool it is, and how basically how Russian it is and how un-Russian it is at the same time. Because on one hand, you kind of see the luxury and the money that's in Russia. And on the other hand, you can go 3 or 4 kilometers away and see what I consider as the normal Russia, you know, the normal apartment blocks, the normal houses, shops, supermarkets, all so close together. If we go back to the beginning of the video there, we saw, you know, kind of that contrast of areas. So if anyone knows what to buy me for Christmas, this is the car I want. Porsche Panamera GTS. The guy just pulled up and went into the shopping center just so casually. That car in Australia is $309,000, which is actually more than the price of my apartment. But I don't really like that. It's like an off-white cream color. I saw that car a few days ago in red, and there was a lady that just came out of like a hairdresser's and got in it, and that was just stunning, that red one. But Porsche Panamera GTS, unbelievable car. I just found it funny that the guy just kind of closed the door, walked straight into the shops across the road. I just thought I'd end them. I did actually see a Lamborghini, an orange Lamborghini before, and it was just like an obscure color, and I was going to film that last bit just showing the Lamborghini, but the guy got in and drove off. I think I want the Porsche more than the Lamborghini. Anyone have any preferences? Okay, everybody, we've kind of come to the end of the video. I hope you liked the walk around of New Moscow City from earlier on until now. Everyone looks like they're kind of heading home from work now. It's still early evening, but a little bit of rush hour. So yeah, thanks for watching Traveling with Russell. Thanks for coming on another adventure with me in Moscow. It's getting a little bit cool now, so I thought I'd head home and warm up a little, have some soup, and figure out my next adventure. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching Traveling with Russell. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, put a comment, see what you think. I'm not sure if you like this sort of style of video, so really, based on how many views and likes, I guess that's my sort of feedback for it. So I'm gonna jump in the metro now and head home. Catch you later, everybody. Bye.